Welcome, my Fuzzyites, to a quick review of Joe's Diner. As always with these reviews, I rate them 1 to 5, 1 being that whatever premise it was trying to go for, it just failed miserably at. I feel it failed miserably at. 3 being that whatever it was trying to go for, it just hit it. It didn't really do any better or worse. It's just bland and basic. Basically hit it. And 5 being whatever premise it was trying to get across or to me or whatever, it did. It with flying colors. 5, it did everything with flying colors. So let's go for number 1, the story. First thing up is the story. So the story is basically you are sent into Joe's Diner to take over for a month while one of the employees go on vacation, which is very nice. To be able to go on a whole month for vacation, but they kind of need it for what's going on. So when you're there, what's happening is that there are 2 old Indian chiefs who hate each other. I'm just going to re-look up their names so I don't get them wrong. Joe's Diner Chiefs. Joe's Diner. Apparently there is a place called Joe's Diner. Chief names. Game story. Are you not gonna show me what their names are? Really? Okay, so you have In Life, Grimfeather, and then you had Laughing Bird. So, In Life, Grimfeather, Laughing Bird. They did not get along. They hate each other. End of their life, they're buried in the Indian burial ground. Joe's Diner is built on top of that Indian burial ground. So now, while Grimfeather tries to sleep and get his rest as he deserves from his long life, Laughing Bird is going into the diner and setting off things to make noise to wake up Grimfeather and inadvertently kill us. I don't know if Laughing Bird wants that to happen or if it's just a side effect, but yeah, it hurts. So we basically have to twofold clean the diner before our shift is up, which is like 4 minutes, unfortunately. And also make sure the noise doesn't get too loud that Grimfeather comes and gets us. So overall for the story, it's interesting. And makes perfect sense for why someone would want to not be disturbed. And you should not disturb the dead. But overall, I think it's basic, but with the rivalry of Grimfeather and Laughing Bird, and even during the thing you hear Laughing Bird chuckle to himself every time he does something, giving more cadence to him actually being there doing stuff, which is lovely. I'm gonna give it a 4. Yeah, no, 3.5. Because the story is basic, but it is levitated by Laughing Bird being there and him doing the shenanigans, which is why you have to turn stuff off. So 3.5 for the story, I think. Characters, you only really have, in the game, you only have yourself, who is blank, a blank slate. You have Grimfeather, who wants to sleep, and Laughing Bird, who wants to annoy Grimfeather. And even then, there's no real dialogue between the characters. You don't have any people really talk besides Laughing Bird laugh. But overall, like, I really like the fact that that Laughing Bird will laugh whenever he does something because he knows he's a little shit. And he just finds amusement when he's going. So that's good character I like right there. So I'm probably going to give it a 3.5 just for that. Because it is, like, the characters are basically non-existent. You really don't go into the backstory of why Grimfeather and Laughing Bird really hate each other. But with Grimfeather laughing at everything he does, whether he puts stuff on the ground for me to walk on, or turn something on to make noise, he really likes it. So 3.5 for character. The setting, you're in a diner. It's a nice diner. Very big, spacious, with a lot of stuff to interact with, to turn on and off, gather the stuff and whatnot. There's 2 bathrooms. There's the back office with a bunch of stuff there. So it is nice. A nice area to run around with. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's just annoying with mechanical wise, but we'll get that in the next thing. So overall, with the setting itself, I'm going to give it a 4. Because it's not just, cleaning up the random diner there. There's also pictures on the wall to give you a little more stuff. I think one of them was the Grimfeather and Laughing Bird. So it gives more cadence to what's going on there, which they shouldn't have built it on an Indian burial ground. That's the first thing you should never do. If we learn nothing from Poltergeist. But yeah, I'll give it a 4 because there's stuff you can look at as well in the house. I don't know if there's any theories. If any theorists out there want to look at the game and try and make a theory out of what's really going on, I'm sure this game has very much to offer in lore-wise. So yeah, 4 for the setting because it's a nice diner, but it looks nice. They have a lot of stuff out. Like I said, it's very lived in and looks reasonable and lifelike. Besides that, we're going to go to the mechanics, which is the main thing of the game, and where the game lives and dies in this case because it has nothing else. And the mechanics are actually they're very well thought out. They have their problems, but the mechanics are basically you can run around, walk or run. You might as well run. Running makes more noise. So basically, there's a noise meter. The more it fills up, the more Grimfeather gets annoyed. If it gets too high for too long, he comes, takes you out, your night's done. So that's one thing you need to worry about, is turning off the thing. And there are many, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. About 16 different things, maybe even more, that can be turned on that you need to go and turn off. So it's a lot of variety. Also, all the sound to everything is unique to themselves. If you really listen, they all sound different. They start different, but they also make sense for this area being the diner for what's there and whatnot. So overall, with the sound portion of it, it was really well done. It sounded good. It looked good. And everything, and it made sense for a lot of that stuff being there. The only thing I would change with the sound is like the bathrooms. I feel like only having one open would be fine. But they also did it where each night it wouldn't change. One bathroom would turn on for whatever. So like one bathroom, if anything gets if anything gets turned on in there, it'll be in the women's washroom, or it'll be in the men's washroom. Or only the hand dryer in the men's washroom, and only the faucet in the ladies' washroom. That it was always concrete. Once you knew where to go for either of those, you wouldn't have to go anywhere else. It was always the same, which is very nice, though I feel like just taking out one bathroom out of order would be better. The only thing with the sound thing that I did not like is that you had the loudest sound being the alarm clock all the way in the back point where you don't go there at all except for that. Not to mention him putting down the traps to step on, and most of the time there's a lot of traps there. So you got to figure out what to do there, and it's just, if that happens more than once, you're done. There's nothing you can do. Besides that, so sound-wise, it sounds good. I would just change where the stuff is. The second part of the night is that you have to collect and throw out all food items and drink items before your shift ends. which is like, I think, 6 hours in-game, 4 minutes in ours. And again, it's fine. A lot of stuff's very good to grab and whatnot. Some things are very small and hard to get and move and whatnot. So that's a bummer. But overall, like, with everything, so you can... And a lot of times when I got taken out, as you probably saw, because you definitely watched all the episodes, it was because I ran out of time on my shift. It's very, very tight, because you don't want the sound to go, but you kind of have to say, screw you, sound. I'm just going to go and do what I did a couple times, and that's how I won, by saying screw you, sound, and hoping for the best. But, like, it's very tight between the sound, the noises being generated, and, there's also, I touched on it, throughout the night, as we went more and more, he would put different items on the floor, and more, he'd turn things on more and whatnot. But he'd put on the floor chips, which are big and easy to grab, ducks, which are smaller, but still pretty easy to grab, and mousetraps, which blend in and are very hard to grab. But all in all, with all the stuff together, it makes a fine game. I think 4 minutes for that is way too short, especially if you get too many things in the back room. Because again, you don't have to you never go to the back room except for when things turn on, and it's just a headache. But other than that, all in all, I will give the mechanics and whatnot a 4.5 because they work really well. It's really fun to play. I think if they just removed the alarm clock or had something else there in the back room where it didn't make a noise, because once the alarm clock goes off, or even the phone goes off in the back room, you have to go there. And it takes time to walk in, turn it off, and walk out. Not to mention, like I said, the traps on the floor and whatnot that you walk on and make noise. As well, there is the... it just all works well together. I think just 5 minutes would have been a good time. Because even when I won, I barely won. Which is probably the point. You need to make it good. So I can't really be mad at the time thing. But I think just having the alarm clock and so many things in the back room that were loud is just a poor design. It just makes it a lot more tougher. I mean, I won. Grateful I won. But yeah, it's just unfairly hard at that point. I think they should have also had a thing where like a bar would fill up for Laughing Feather to use. And if it filled up all the way, he could use more devastating things and further everything. But no, he could literally, if Laughing Bird wanted to, he could just turn on the alarm clock over and over and over again, and I'm screwed. There's nothing I can do. So, either way, 4.5, that was very annoying, but it works really well, and I was really entertained all the way through, collecting plates and whatnot, and finding the best way to do it, running when not to run. Opening doors were a problem because they also made noise. Overall, I'm going to give the game... I'm going to give the game a 4. Because altogether, like, the main thing was the mechanics, and the mechanics really worked well. The setting was very nice and believable and looked good and lived in. The story was there, as many stories are. Laughing Feather, or Laughing Bird, elevated it to something better with him chuckling every so often, which was also a noise indicator, which they did really good with the sound effects and whatnot. I recommend this game. Like, I don't know why they don't have a platinum trophy for the game, but you can get at least a gold and quite a lot of bronze. So, and I don't know how it is for other systems. I played on PS4, but a well done game. I really like the sound and everything with that. And that will be it for me for now. So thank you, my Fuzzy Yates, for watching this quick review, and I'll see you anytime. Take care.